And we are live. Let's get a swig right quick. All right. So let's see. As the dog pound, are they piling in? People coming in to come hang out today, Sunday afternoon with the dog pound, with the Dawgfatha. What we got? I see Lloyd is in the house, and so is David. David, raining there in Virginia. Yeah, you guys got that weather coming your way for sure. I think it's, what is it? Hurricane. I can't remember the name of it right now. Henry. I think it's Henry. Hurricane Henry. Hopefully you guys will fare through that. Everybody will be okay. Hopefully it's just a little bit of rain and not a lot of flooding and, things of that nature. But come on in, guys. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come hang out with the Dawgfatha. John Harrell, how you doing, brother? Welcome, welcome. Sean Johnson is in the house from the UK. Well, how you doing, Sean? Glad to have you in here. Jean Marie is in the house. You know what? Let's go ahead and bring Jean in. Jean is going to be our moderator today. She's, my favorite moderator. So, Jean, welcome to the stream. How you doing, baby?
Hey, I'm good. Look, my microphone is working. I'm good.
Right? I was like, okay, is she going to have her microphone on this time? Are we going to have to say, hey, you're muted? Tom's Food Factory, what's going on? Yeah, man. Hey, I'm just watching what you're doing, Tom. That's all. Josh and Babe is in the house. How you guys doing? Or at least Josh is in the house. What's up, Josh? How you doing, bro? We got KC, North Texas Barbecue Addicts. My man Kenneth, how you doing, bro? Glad to see you popping in. So, guys, we are here. We are live. We are hanging out on this fine, fantastic Sunday afternoon. Man, we're going to do what we do. We talk barbecue. We talk all things barbecue, whether it's actual cooking techniques, methods, cookers, you name it. That's what we're going to talk about. And today we might even actually talk a little bit about what it takes to put together a YouTube video. What's that process like? From a content creator standpoint, what's it like and what are we trying to achieve? What type of information is it we take from our viewers and in the analytics and things of that nature. And so we're going to have a fun, fantastic talk about it. Welcome, Kent. How you doing, my man, Kent? Daddy Does Barbecue, as well as Tyler. Tyler's in the house. What's going on? Jake Jacobs is in. What's going on? But, the other night, Gene, I was on Mama and Papa Joe's live stream,
Yeah.
Yeah, that fantastic, that pit master over there, Clarence Joseph, world renowned. Let me get it right. World renowned Clarence Joseph. Renowned was having a fantastic conversation about, what gets people to click, what gets people to subscribe, things of that nature. And I found it to be a very fascinating conversation. There's a lot of different, inputs and everything. And I thought, you know what? Maybe we might have to get together with Clarence and have another live stream and talk about it, and I wasn't able to chime in the other night, but I'm here now. So we're going to see if we can hang out and talk about things. And so I guess without further ado, let me bring in my man, Clarence Joseph from Mama and Papa Joe's. If you guys are not subscribed to him, make sure you go subscribe to Clarence and Mama and Papa Joe's. Clarence, how you doing, brother? Welcome on this fine Sunday afternoon.
What's happening? Dawgfatha, good to see you, bro. Thanks for the invite, man. Much appreciated.
Likewise, man. Likewise. You had a great conversation going on the other night, and I really wish I could have chimed in. But, I was at work and couldn't really, get on the camera or whatever. So I figured, hey, you know what? I'm free this weekend. If you're free, let's get together. And so here we are, man. So we're going to be about it and we're going to talk about it.
I thought that was a good idea, man. And I'm glad we were able to find a hole and put it together. Let's make it happen.
Absolutely.
Hey, Bobby, how are you doing?
Yeah, Bobby Catton is in the house. Always glad to see Bobby Catton pop on in here. I see Coltrane CTR. What's going on? SDR, my brother, how you doing? Chris L is in the house. Our brother Russell, Raspberry Rock Off Grid Cabin, is in the house. Smoking under the big skies in here. We got Brett Crawford is in. All right, all right. And Tampa BBQ Queens. All right, like that. So, guys, again, we are going to be here. We're going to talk barbecue, all things barbecue. We're going to talk about, the process of putting together videos, that type of thing. If you guys have any questions for myself or Clarence, please feel free to pop those into the chat. Gene will be moderating and capturing those questions and putting them on the screen, as well as highlighted types of, side notes or whatever and comments that you guys are making. So feel free to, like I said, put those in the chat and we'll get those, as a topic of discussion. But Clarence, so how you been, man? How's your weekend been going, brother?
Man, it's been a satisfying weekend. Kind of busy. I cooked all day for my fantasy football draft. I'm the commissioner in my league. And cooked all day, man. Had some awesome Wagyu beef ribs. I cooked enough for about 15 people. So
nice.
On one pit, I had about 8 racks of Wagyu beef ribs, and made for a long day, but satisfying. Spent up until about 11 last night hanging out with the fantasy football guys after we ate and did our draft. So got up this morning and cleaned up, and I'm caught up now, sitting back having a cold one, man. Getting ready to listen to you spit some knowledge.
Oh, man, I don't know about that. We will have a conversation and talk about it. Yeah, I'll learn just like everybody else will. So you know how that goes. You know how to, so did you fire up your Jambo for that, or what did you cook on?
No, man, I did it on my 1300, my Traeger.
Oh, okay.
The Timberline, and with enough space in there, man, to get 8 good racks of back ribs, beef back ribs.
Okay.
So it worked out nicely. And
Sweet.
They left me enough for dinner this evening. So life
well, that was
good.
Nice of them.
Yeah, life is good.
Look at Big Cat's in the house. How you doing, Mike? He says, "Hope you drafted 2 at Go Fins." I was seeing some conversation about Tua and wondering whether or not he was going to stick as their quarterback over in Miami, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. We got a lot of season to go, man.
Early in the game.
Absolutely.
In the game, man. I hate doing a draft this early. Still got another preseason game or 2. People get hurt, but whenever you can find a hole where all the schedules permit us sitting down and doing it, we got to get it out the way. So it's behind us. Yeah,
absolutely. So before we dive into conversation, I'll tell you what. Let's see if we got Gene. Do we have any questions that you want to get thrown up here first? Look at that! Out of the gate, we got one for Clarence. What's the best way to smoke a brisket? Can't seem to keep mine juicy whether I pull it at a lower tip or higher tip. Closest I had was pulled at 202.
What's happening, Daniel? That's a great question, man. And honestly, I don't know that there is a best way to cook a brisket. They can, whatever method you choose, can be very effective once you understand that process. So I hate to use the term best, especially with all the subjectivity behind it. But you say you can't seem to keep yours juicy, whether you pull it at a lower or higher temp. First of all, you got to make sure that you're starting out with a good quality piece of meat, man.
Absolutely.
That is so important. That old myth out there that we can take a poor piece of meat, and if you're a good pit masters, you could turn it into something delectable. It's just that, a myth. So Daniel, I don't know what you're cooking on, but man, if you can, if you understand the temp that you're cooking at, of course, a higher temp, a faster brisket, a lower temp, a longer brisket. Uh, if you're injecting, if you can't keep yours juicy, maybe you might even want to add a little beef broth inside based on the quality of the meats you're cooking. Uh, but it's all about controlling that fire, man. That is one of the main ways of really losing juices in a particular piece of meat. Understanding that fire, time, temperature, are the two most important things. If you were to tell me what you were cooking on, I could better try to give you some tips and tricks to help you out, Daniel.
Absolutely. I think, when you're talking about barbecue, that's one thing, man, is each cook has so many variables. And one of the things that I try to stress when I'm doing my videos is I'm trying to get people to understand and start learning to cook from feel.
Yeah,
And so many people are being considering themselves slave to technology. And I got to know this temperature, and I got to
yeah,
know, and it's like, man, I don't even cook like that. I get questions of, how many hours per pound for this, and I'm like, I've never cooked that way. I read my cook. If I put my brisket in or my ribs in or whatever I'm cooking, you know what? I look and I read the cook. I'll come back and check on it. I mean, I kind of dialed it in now where I don't have to come back an hour later. But, when I was trying to learn it, I come back an hour later, take a look, and see if it looks too dry, if it looks like it's, too raw. Maybe I'm cooking too low. Maybe I'm cooking too hot. Maybe the draft is pulling a little harder, than it normally does. And I read these things by looking at the protein and seeing what it looks like and then make adjustments. And that's what I try to get across to people, because if you sit back and think that, oh, well, I have to hit this number or I have to do this amount of time, to me, my opinion, that could be a recipe for disaster.
I totally agree. Daniel, man, it comes with experience. I hate to use the term pit master. I'm no pit master, but I do have a basic understanding, a good knowledge base. I've got some experience. I've been doing this a little bit, uh, and I'm not gonna lie. I burned up enough brisket to get
Absolutely.
my knowledge base. I burned up enough meats over the years to get my knowledge base where it is. By no means did I start off cooking quality briskets. It took me a couple of years to really understand. And like Alton says, man, all the talk of X number of minutes per pound or whatnot, I throw that out the window. Get to cooking. Uh, Great idea is to keep notes of a particular cook so you can
Yep.
make adjustments. Get to develop a feel for what you're cooking. Stop paying so much attention to temperature. Get to know your pit. If you understand your pit, man, it's going to take you a long ways. If you understand
Absolutely.
how your pit cooks, those sweet spots, how that fire runs. So these are some of the base things that are fairly easy for you to get a hold of, and it's gonna start you out in the right path once you get those things under your belt.
Absolutely. I know I get asked a lot about, finishing temperature in my brisket. I'm like, I don't even know.
Yeah,
I rarely ever look to see what the temperature is when I pull it off the pit. I probe it just for tenderness. And if it feels like it's supposed to feel, then I pull it off. I don't even really worry about the temperature. I never really think to look at it, to be honest with you.
yes, sir. Yeah.
So SDR Brothers says, are there applications where you really like using a smoke tube or situations where you advise against it? And I know for me, man, it's no set pattern for me. You know, sometimes I might want to use a smoke tube. Sometimes I don't. I honestly haven't used a smoke tube now, and it's been quite a while. And I actually have ribs on a pellet smoker right now. I got some on my Grilla Grills today, and I'm not using the smoke tube. But whenever I know that, say I'm going to be making a brisket or I'm going to be making beef ribs or whatever that's a really dense cut, and I really want to try and get some flavor into it, some wood flavor into it, then I'll probably use a smoke tube. I don't think I can tell you there's times I would advise against it because again, it's all personal preference. One of the things I really try to stress to people is that when you're out there cooking, whether you're in the backyard or whatever, that's your playground, man. You do what you want. There are no rules. You do what you want. I don't care if you've seen me do this way or Clarence do it that way or somebody else do it. You do it however you want to do it. And if you ruin it, okay, cool. It's not the end of the world. It didn't work. Cool. What parts of that cook did work? Maybe you employ those in the future and drop the stuff that didn't work, but you might come up with something totally new. It might be the next new trend. You just never know. So don't be afraid to just play around with it and do whatever it is that you want to do. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. I don't know SDR. I don't know that there's any time you might not want to use a situation where you might not want to use or advise against using a smoke tube. I use smoke tubes when I am cooking on my Traegers at competition. Every now and again, Traeger might ask me to do a competition on one of their pits. And when that happens, I will definitely use a smoke tube because when you're at a competition and you're going up against all these stick burners and these quality cooks, you've got to try to put yourself in a situation where you're going to be able to compete. And I do think that a smoke tube in those instances will allow you to compete. And I've got the experience with the quality awards on those Traegers at those events. So I really think the smoke tube works there. I have never thought about using a smoke tube at home on one of my pits, on one of my Traegers. I feel like I get enough smoke without it. So in a competition, yes. On one of my pits, on one of my Traegers, I feel like I get enough smoke without it. So in a competition, yes. On one of my pits, on one of my Traegers.
I was catching some feedback there. Hopefully y'all didn't hear that, but it was in my ear.
Yeah.
Like, what's that going on?
Yeah, I heard it.
I think I got rid of it now. So
okay.
But no. So Gene, is there any other questions you want to throw up for us here? But I think honestly, the smoke tube is a great accessory to use with the pellet smoker. And there's some great applications for it. So definitely.
On that smoke tube, when I use the smoke tube, most people will just put pellets in it. I find that I get a little more flavor when I put wood chips. So I actually put wood chips in my smoke tube as opposed to pellets. You've got to take a little extra time to pack the wood chips in there. Because of the uneven pieces, you might get large gaps in it. So you've really got to take some time and place them in there so that they're packed fairly tightly. And you will get a long, effective burn. And I think it really, really adds to what that pellet grill is doing.
Yeah. And I've always, had people ask me about using wood chips in there and things of that nature. And I've never actually used wood chips in the pellet smoker, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It should work.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely does.
Absolutely.
I got me a 6-place brisket out of 284 teams at the San Antonio Rodeo.
That's why you are the man.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. Hey, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, man. You know how that goes.
Hey. So Daniel says he's doing his brisket for the first time, looking at an 8-hour smoke. Not sure how it's going to turn out, but he's using the keto-friendly brown sugar. And I actually did see Gene popped up a question there. I think it was Pickles. What's going on, Charlie? Pickles had asked about brown sugar on brisket. And you know what, Clarence? Let me defer to you, man, since you like I said, you the resident brisket king around here. So.
I don't know about all that. now, if you're working on a bar caliber some brown sugar will definitely aid in that bark process. Um, and there's nothing wrong with a little bit of sugar in a brisket rub. I really think, like I said, it helps that coloring. It helps that overall bark. You don't want to go crazy with it.
All right.
I'm not a fan of anything sweet, especially when it comes to brisket. Much sweet competition. There's a little sweet in there, but at home, no. I don't know, Daniel, what exactly your plan is. What are you trying to gain with the brown sugar? Is it a bark thing? Is it a color thing? There's nothing wrong with it. Just use it sparingly.
Just be careful.
Yeah.
But you never know. You might come up, use a bunch of brown sugar on there and have some pictures hit, and everybody's going to be putting brown sugar on their brisket next week. You never know.
You watch TV, man. You hear of these cooks out there talk about the candied brisket, where they really pack the brown sugar on, and it's beautiful. The end result is really beautiful. That dark, deep, intense color, that beautiful bark.
Right.
But I would just think the overall taste, with that much sugar on it, and they understand it's going to be sweet because they call it a candied brisket.
Yeah.
So they understand it's going to be sweet, but it wouldn't be something that I think I would enjoy.
No, and I've always said that. Jean for years has always said she likes if I put a little bit of brown sugar in the rub for brisket, whatever. And I don't prefer to do it because I'm not a sweet meat type person.
Yeah.
But hey, again, it's cooking, man. There's no rules.
Yeah, absolutely
you play around with it, So, our brother Lewis, what's going on? Trumpet Master 77's in the house. How you doing, Lewis? He says that he doesn't do injections. He thinks it ruins the brisket, and I don't know if I agree with that. I'm not. I don't typically inject briskets either. I think there's definitely a place for it. I think that what I do, cooking in the backyard, for family, friends, whatever, I don't think I really need to do injections. Yeah. Now, you know what? If I'm out on a competition circuit, like, my brother Clarence there and some of the other guys, you probably need to do the injections because you're trying to pack that flavor in one bite, or maybe two. So I don't think it ruins my opinion again. I don't think it ruins briskets. It's just, I think it's a preference thing.
Oh yeah. I don't believe it ruins a brisket either, man. And trumpet, you can inject with something as simple as just beef broth. And with the cost of meats nowadays, man, I can see more people going to choice as opposed to a prime or something above that. If you've got a choice, you're not going to have all that marbling 8 times out of 10. Every once in a while, you'll find a choice with that kind of marbling. But 8 times out of 10, you're going to have a choice that's fairly average marbling. In those cases, folks, don't hesitate, man, to add a little moisture into that brisket, a little just plain beef broth. I'm not talking about going out buying, competition powders and all these other things. You're just talking about some simple beef broth. You might even want to just season that up with a little something to your taste and inject it into that brisket. It's going to help your end product. So I can see the only way I can see an injection ruining a brisket is if you inject it with some hot garbage. You know what I'm saying?
You got a bad marinade.
Yeah. You inject it with something crazy. That's the only way you could really ruin a brisket.
Yeah. I hear that. Let's see. I see Brett Crawford's in. Smoking Joe. What's going on, Smoking Joe? How you doing, brother? Glad to have you in here. Gregor is in the house. Again, Pickles is, he's kind of blessed us with his presence. Pickles in the house. How you doing? Econ 301 is in the house. Guys, just wanted to make sure I said hello to you for popping on in here. And Gregor, thank you very much. Really do appreciate that for the super chat there. Thank you, man. I really do appreciate that, Gregor. So let's see here. So Daniel again. No, not Daniel. So Tampa. Says he adds brown sugar to the rubs to balance the salts. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. And I think if you're
I
balancing, you're not overdoing it because
Yeah, yeah,
again,
yeah.
when you're talking that duration of time for those temperatures, that brown sugar will get really dark on you.
It's a great way, man, to even out when you start talking about a savory brisket. That savory taste really comes from a good balance of sweet to salty. So yeah, it's all about balance. You don't want sugar to overtake the
Absolutely,
rest of your seasonings.
absolutely. And I tend to, I'm kind of, I don't know if I should say it's kind of a purist type thing, but I kind of like the flavors of the meat and not try to mask them, if that makes sense. So, for instance, like I said, I've got a rack of pork ribs on right now, and it's literally just salt and pepper. No binder, nothing. Just literally, that diamond crystal salt and pepper. That's it. So I don't even know if I'm gonna put butter on them. I'm just like I said, there's no rules. I'm not even gonna wrap them. I'm
There
just
you go.
I got them on. I'm smoking it, and I think I got them at 225 on the griller because I knew I was gonna be doing this. I didn't want to cook them too fast, so I got them 225 sitting out there on the griller grills. Got some post oak pellets going on. I'm just gonna let it go, And when they finish, they finish, and if they're good, they're good, and if they're not, okay, we won't do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what we doing today. Just straight salt and pepper. Keep it
I've
natural.
I've really been into the no wrap, man. The last couple of months, man. I've been enjoying what I'm getting in that end product. Uh, and if brisket prices ever come back down, I am definitely going to attempt a couple of no wrap briskets.
Oh yeah.
I really want to see what I can do with something like that. But man, I've been no wrapping everything. I told somebody a little while ago they hit me up on in a text about my no wrap beef rib dino ribs. And I
Mhm.
said, man, I may never wrap dino ribs again
Absolutely.
after that attempt because it was so special.
Yep.
It was
And
so
brisket's the
special.
same way.
Yeah, I can only imagine, man.
Oh
I can
yeah,
only
brisket
imagine.
is absolute.
Yeah,
Dude, some of the best briskets I've made are not wrap brisket. It just takes you longer.
yeah,
You
yes,
know, it takes you a lot longer or whatever. You probably add 3-4 hours to your cook
yeah,
maybe. But man, it's just as good. It's just as you
yeah.
would think. Oh, it's not going to be as juicy. No, it's just as juicy. Again, wrapping the brisket, all that does is it just speeds up the cook.
Speeds up that cook.
So that's a good tip for you guys out there that are newer to smoking brisket. If you've got the time, cook that brisket to completion without it being wrapped, and I think you'll be amazed. If you don't rush it, don't kick up your temperatures, keep your temperatures the same, and just do it through where you got your tenderness where you want it. And I think you'll be surprised at just how good that brisket is. Same thing with ribs or whatever too. So absolutely, absolutely. So SDR says I prefer to accentuate the flavor of the meat, not define the flavor. Absolutely. I think that's key, man. I think a lot of people are actually using so many different, rubs and ingredients in these rubs that you kind of lose the identity of what the protein is supposed to be doing, you know? So I don't want to taste, sugar or heavy paprika or cumin. I want to taste that pork or I want to taste that beef, and or poultry or whatever it is. I want to taste that protein, man. I don't want to taste seasonings, you know?
And now with the way our meats are being raised, they tend to lack a little. They tend to carry less flavor than they did 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago because of how they're being raised, the way they're being farmed, man. Our chickens are not flavorful as they used to be. That chicken in your grandmother's yard running around eating caca bugs and everything else. Used to have that awesome chickeny flavor. You could tell it was chicken. Nowadays, unless you really, really do something to help those chickens out, they can be fairly plain tasting. So do what you can without masking that flavor. You want to enhance, not mask.
Yep. And in Smoking Joe, I see you. He says no wrap has a ton more flavor. It's just his opinion, and I agree. I think you do. There's a special flavor in it when you just do it to completion without being wrapped.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that for a second, because I think that there's an issue when it comes to wrapping, because I think people, I don't know if everybody really knows exactly how to wrap, their meats. You're supposed to wrap them, and you wrap them kind of tight. You don't want it steaming. And so when you're wrapping it in foil or butcher paper, and you're not pulling that tight and getting it a nice, really tight a wrap, you're just going to be steaming that meat. And for me, when you start steaming that meat, what happens? You lose flavor. That's my opinion on it. I know a lot of people that wrap in pans just because that's what they're used to doing. They don't want to lose any juices or whatever. But I've just never really done that, just because I know the steam factor. So,
and you mentioned the flavor. It zaps some of the life out of your seasonings. And if you're not taking advantage of your au jus, then you're not replacing those seasonings. I really, even coming out of foil after the competitions, and I'm tightly wrapped because I don't want to create any room for steaming. I want that braising process as opposed to steaming. But even coming out of the foil, I'm re-seasoning. I'm adding a little more zip, a little more pop back onto that brisket, because I know in that foil you're going to lose something. So don't forget. Don't be afraid to re-season coming out of that wrap, folks. It's important.
That's a great piece of advice, because I know that gets overlooked quite a bit.
Yeah.
Whether you're barbecuing or whether you're grilling, don't be afraid. Hit some of that seasoning on the back end if you have to. So, absolutely. So, Tampa says, getting ready to put 3 slabs on the grill. Have you ever fried or air fried ribs before? How about you, Clarence? Have you?
I've never air fried ribs. I have fried ribs, and I love them in standard frying process. But I've never air fried. I've done air fried chicken. The wife and I love them. We've air fried quite a bit of stuff, but never ribs. Tampa, is that a thing? If it is, I'm going to get on it. I'm not afraid.
I've never air fried ribs, but I have done the conventional peanut oil fry, smoked ribs, and then fried them, and
smoke them and then fry them, and they're absolutely delicious, man. You get a nice light batter. I really like a tempura. Yeah. I like a tempura. Nice light batter. They're delicious.
I did that with one of my older cooks, where I actually smoked the ribs and then we fried them. And I actually, put them in flour, a flour dredge, put it in flour, dipped it in some, egg wash, and then into panko. Yeah. And then fried them and just had that crunch, man, it was some good stuff. Definitely some good stuff.
You ever do that next time, after you get that out the fryer real hot, toss them real quick in some Head Country apple habanero.
Oh yeah.
They're money. Yeah.
See, and the only thing about, so for me, barbecue sauces tend to be so sweet. And I'm not a sweet barbecue sauce person, which is why a lot of times I don't even use barbecue sauce. And apple habanero is one of those that sometimes, I don't know if it's just something with me, but sometimes it's really sweet. And then other times it's not as sweet.
Yeah.
So, but it is one of the better barbecue sauces out there that you can buy right off the shelf and put it right in the application.
No, I can agree with that.
Definitely works out pretty good. SDR, thank you for coming to hang out with us this afternoon, man. Be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And again, thank you for coming to hang out with us. So, tell you what I want to do here, Clarence. I want to switch up a little bit. And let's get into some of the conversation like we saw on your channel the other night. Talking about what is it that makes people subscribe to you? What is it they see on your videos, and what is it that you're trying to get across to get them to click that subscribe button? So I want to know from you, how do you envision that process when, because, you got a YouTube channel and you putting a lot of great info out there and, tips, tricks, techniques, and all kinds of things. What is it in your mind as to how what is it you're trying to get across to your viewer or potential viewer to become a subscriber and, take that ride with you?
And let me start with our channel is fairly young.
Mm-hmm.
I am. We're still learning as we go, man, about this video creation process. Uh, by no means are we expert videographers or anything. Like I said, we're learning as we go. It's been a fun little trip so far, a fun journey so far. But I come from an instructor background. 15 of my 21 years in the military, were geared towards coaching, teaching, instructing. So I really love to do it. Once I retired from the military, I was a public school teacher. I taught U.S. history for another 9 years. So I really like instructing. So when we came up with the idea, the wife and I came up with the idea of the YouTube channel, I really wanted to just put out tutorials. I really wanted to put out videos where I was teaching. It gave me that satisfaction. And then, man, you get to eat what you created. Unlike teaching in the classroom, teaching U.S. history, you don't get to eat anything afterwards. So it was one of those things where it really fulfilled a lot of our wants and needs. I'm always very satisfied at the end of a video, man. So yes, we do want to show off some of our abilities. We want to give you that great information, man. We want you to leave one of our videos thinking, hey, that was simple enough. He explained that well. I think next chance I get, I am going to try that. And as you look around, folks, you'll see that just about anything we cook can be done on any type of pit.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the great things I think about our videos. You don't have to have the pit that we have, and we cook on many different pits, but we want to try to make them so simple that you feel you can do them in the end.
Absolutely. I think for me, it was kind of an evolving journey. When we first started the YouTube channel, I think I went into it looking at it the wrong way. I went into it like, oh man, I want to get, these subscribers and, but what does that really mean? You know what I mean? You're looking at numbers on a screen. And so does that really mean anything? Well, for me, it was again, I wanted to build these numbers, but I didn't know exactly what that meant. So then as we started to build the numbers a little bit, the thing that got me to where I started evolving was now you're actually interacting with people.
Yeah.
You're interacting with people that have taken the time to watch your content and then actually comment to you or send you emails or DMs or, whatever. And you start to realize like, oh, geez, these people are really, really watching what I'm doing. And they're really interested in what I'm doing. And in some cases you get some of these stories, people of, having, different things go on, through their life, and you're that escape, time for them for a little bit, and helping them forget, troubles of the world, whatever it might be. And so then it started to change, and I started to understand, okay, this is a little bit bigger than just some numbers. These are people. These are really people. What is it to say you have, 115,000 subscribers? Really, what does that mean? It doesn't really mean anything. What it really means is when you're actually interacting with some of these people and you're actually having conversation and you're getting that feedback, and they're telling you, dude, I tried this, and I
Yeah,
never cooked this before, and your video helped me, and your technique is so easy to follow, and so it kind of changed. Like I said, it started changing, how you kind of look at it, and so that's what kind of gears you to how you do your video. So interesting stories is yesterday we did our live stream for Grilla Grills, and Federico was over here, and I was just showing him some things, which we'll kind of get into if we have the time today. But I was showing him some things on how you re-optimize some videos, maybe some older content that you kind of want to try and get back into rotation, you know. And so what we did was we went and looked at one of my old videos, man, and it was about how to reverse sear ribeye steak, and that video has been out for about 2 years, and I think it had 2,000 views. It's like nobody's seen it.
yeah.
So it was like, okay, well, let's go take a look at this video, and we re-optimized the video, and I showed them exactly the process of what I do and how I do it, and how you make it more interesting, and how important the thumbnail is, and all of these different little things. And I re-optimize this video, and you don't relaunch it, but you kind of like relink it and throw it out there and see what happens, and then there we were again, and people commenting again and like, dude, I didn't know this about reverse searing and blah 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 and this and this. So it's a really cool tool to understand, people, and you adjust your videos, you adjust your content, the way you film your videos or the way you do your commentary or whatever, because you now understand you're dealing with people. So when you look at this video, because the video is not different, the video is the same
Yeah.
exact video I shot 2 years ago. The video is horrible. you know, the video is horrible. But it's a step in the path, of getting to where you see where you were and where you are now. But if you guys go back and look at some of that older content, you'll see there's a lot different going on now, compared to what it was. But it's something that we just had to learn, and that's something I learned from the viewers. So
No, that's a great idea, man. Because early on, we're getting our growth is not astronomical or anything, but we've got steady growth, and I am more interested in gaining subscribers who are going to be viewers.
mm-hmm.
There are lots of ways to grow your channel out there, but numbers don't mean anything if you don't have people who are watching.
Right.
And I love our current crop of subscribers. They're watching. They're involved. They're asking questions. They're pointing things out, and that is what I want. I love the interaction you mentioned. You drop me a comment, man. I will respond to every single comment, good or bad. I will respond because I appreciate that feedback. But we've gone back and looked at some of our early videos, and I'm saying early videos. It's only been a year. We've gone back and looked at our first couple of videos. I mean, cooked very well, but not filmed in the best methods, like you mentioned. And we've learned some things over the years. So we're going to continue to strive, man. Our videos hopefully are going to get better shot as we begin to understand lighting and camera angles and all these different things. We're not professionals by any means, but we're definitely learners. So they're going to get better, man. We just hope our subscribers continue to watch, stay involved, and we're gonna make it do what it do.
Absolutely. It's for me, I know it's an interesting thing. Like you were talking the other night, and there are different things that people want. And the discussion was about whether or not you eat your food on the video. Do you taste the food, and do you give your opinions on this rub or this restaurant or whatever it might be. And so for me, I started off that way. Well, man, this tastes really good, and yada yada yada, blah blah blah, yada. or, oh, dude, this was a really fun cook, and we did this and that and the other, and man, just look at this. It just falls, and it's like when I started looking into it, it was like they didn't want to see that.
Yeah.
People don't, and it really depends on the channel. I'm not saying it's across the board.
I totally understand that.
But it depends on the channel.
Yeah.
And for my channel, they don't want to see that. They want to learn about what it is you're doing and how you're doing it. And then 9 times out of 10, if you stop and think about it for a minute, and all of us we're on YouTube, we've all watched videos. If you're looking at a video to obtain some knowledge about something, once you feel like you've got that knowledge, what do? You click off the video. There's no need to keep watching. You already got the information you came there to get, right? And that's what I found, that you're getting into that area where you're providing more information than what they even want. You already gave them what they wanted. Wrap it up. Because what happens is if you continue to go and your viewers click off that video, well, now the algorithm is looking at your video and looking how your retention rate drops. And now it's, oh, okay, they don't like this video, so they stop suggesting it, and then your viewership goes down. It's just small little things like that you kind of have to look and pay attention to for your channel. You might have a channel where somebody really likes sitting there watching what you're eating or how you're eating it or what you think about it or what have you. And it just depends. Again, it depends on the channel and what your channel is.
And I can understand that. For me, man, it's that satisfaction, that pleasure I get out of that. And I don't think I'm going to do away with that one. I really enjoy it. A lot of our fans enjoy it. I do see some videos here where it tails off before right around that point. Mm-hmm. I can understand that, but I think it would be one of those things that I would miss if I really did not get to tell our viewers, those that continue to watch to that point,
right,
what I thought of this particular piece of meat or whatever end product we happen to be tasting. So I kind of look forward to that. It is a satisfaction thing for me.
Right.
So I understand that some people are going to cut out, yes, because you've given them what they came here for. You've given them what they came here for. But I enjoy it, man. Yeah, I enjoy it. And for the most part, there are only certain cooks that we really eat a lot of. For the most part, most of the things that we cook, man, our neighbors, they love us. They really enjoy our cooking. Some of the stuff is just I think is way too rich.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some of the stuff is way too rich to eat in large quantities. And unlike, I don't know how you were able to cook 3 thighs a couple of videos ago. I looked at it and I was like, this dude is cooking 3 thighs. I refuse. If I'm going to cook something, it's going to be in a healthy amount for whatever reason. The meats that we do keep, man, I vacuum seal them and I'll pull them out at a later date and make a dinner or whatever the case might be. But I really enjoy cooking in quantities. I have there are times when I'll fire up the grill for a reverse sear, blah, 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 blah. I do the video, finish the video, and I'm looking at those coals in that Weber. And I'm like, hey, come on, there's got to be something. Not that there's no video involved, but there's got to be something else I can throw on this grill to take advantage of these coals. So
I hear that.
I'm that type of person.
Well, in all fairness, and yeah, you're right. It was only 3 chicken thighs that I cooked that day, but that was on a small portable grill.
Yeah.
Not a lot of real estate on it, and it was the first time I cooked on it. And I said, well, you know what? Let's do some chicken thighs because I think that'll be a good thing to do. And the research told me, chicken thighs will probably do okay. So okay, let's make that. So, but I'm like you, man. I like to cook in quantity.
Yeah.
The problem is that, you know what, we don't have all the mouths around to eat all the food like we used to. So we kind of have to slow down, and I'm running out of freezer space. So I got to
Yeah.
slow
Yeah.
down a little bit.
Dude, I've got people. I can make a phone call at 2 in the morning, and before I can hang up, ding dong, my doorbell is going to go off because I've got sponsor neighbors, man. Yeah,
I
I
hear
take care of
that.
it.
I hear. So here's the thing. I saw a question that scrolled by a little while ago. So I kind of want to get back to grabbing some of these questions and, stay interacting with our people here. And one of the questions was talking about resting brisket. And I believe the question was about a 14-hour rest period. Do you agree with that or do you disagree with that? There it is. What are your feelings on the 14-hour
Man,
rest for brisket?
I think that's long.
It is.
I think that is long. Uh, a lot of restaurants are doing a long rest, and they're doing what I call a hot rest. They've got them in warmers, so they're not just sitting someplace. Uh, they are in a temperature control environment for a long rest. And I don't know how much or how knowledgeable some of your viewers are with good restaurant textured brisket. Uh, a lot of that texture may come from that long hot rest.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that texture comes from a long hot rest. But for me, 14, I would never think about resting a brisket that long at home. I think it would be overdoing it. Uh, and unless you're resting multiple brisket, where they can keep each other nice and warm or whatnot. If you're talking about resting one brisket for 14 hours, man, unless you've got something really, really insulated and quality, that brisket will get below that temperature that makes it a quality brisket, I would think, for 14 hours. So for me and Michael, that is a little long. I can see 6 to 8 hours if you're looking for a long rest. 14 hours, I think, is a little long.
So I've done that before. I think for me, it just depends on the process of what and how I'm going to deliver that finished product. And what I mean by that is you know what? It's football season, right? You get the fellas over, families over, the ladies even though like watching football. You get them over. Everybody's coming over to the house and having a great time. We're going to eat some brisket, whatever. I don't want to be up all night cooking brisket, and so typically what I'll do is I'll cook my brisket the day before and have my brisket coming off around midnight or so. And if that brisket comes off at midnight, I might let it rest room temperature for an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, before it goes in my food warmer. Whether I'm using my actual food warmer or if it's just say one or two briskets, I might just throw it in my oven. And so what I'll do is again, if we pull the brisket off, and let's just say, because again, as I referred to earlier, I don't know what my finishing temperatures are, but I'm gonna guess and say somewhere around 205, 210, somewhere around in there. If I pull that brisket off and I put it on my sheet tray and leave it at room temperature, and it's midnight or so, I'll leave it there, go hop in the shower, do whatever, get over to clean up stuff I got to get done, whatever. Come back, temp my brisket. If my brisket is down to about 170, 165, I'm good to go with going ahead and putting it in my food warmer. I'll set my food warmer at 160 degrees or my oven at 160 degrees. Pop that brisket in there and I'm going to bed. So next day when I get up, you know what? I know the brisket's ready. So when I get people over, at 12 o'clock, games are coming on or whatever, and we're going to slice this stuff up for halftime, I can pull it out of the oven and serve it as hot, just like it came off the pit.
See, that is what I call a hot rest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is
Absolutely.
what I call a hot rest. And that is what a lot of restaurants are doing, and it gives them that awesome texture, that great restaurant texture. And I've never done it. So I definitely won't knock it. It might be something I need to give a shot.
Definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely. And whether it's brisket, I've done this because again, you know what, dude, I sell brisket. Sell brisket, ribs, chicken, turkey breast. I mean, I sell it all. And I've done that where I've had my beef ribs do the same thing. I'll get the brisket, put it in my food warmer, and I actually have a food warmer. Not just the oven, but actual food warmer when I'm selling. And so I'll put my briskets in there, put my pork butts in there, put my ribs in, all of that stuff, and that I have that thing set on 155, 160 degrees. So whether it's and I'm not so I'm saying that to say that it's not just brisket that I'm resting for those long times. Again, if I'm having people over, I don't want to be up all night
yeah,
long
yeah.
cooking. And so this really does work. And I can honestly say that some of my best briskets have come from being able to rest for that duration of time. And it's not always 14 hours or whatever, but it might be, like we were saying earlier, it might be somewhere in that 8 hour area, 8 to 12 hours typically for me when I'm doing it this way. And it comes out really, really good.
Now, folks, those of you out there who are really looking at this idea, and the great idea it is, just got to be careful, especially with a home oven, because warm for home ovens, some ovens won't drop below
Mm-hmm.
maybe 170. Uh, and if you're talking about that brisket sitting in there continuing to cook for 10, 12 hours, uh, it will become overcooked.
Mush.
It will be overdone. It will be mush. So you might want to tempt that. You might want to tempt your oven, put something in there to really get an idea of what temperature warm is on a given oven. They're all going to differ. They're all going to differ. All to mention a warmer. A warmer is an actual controlled environment.
Right.
You can break that down to 150. That's not going to continue to cook that brisket the way 170 or 180 would. So be
Absolutely.
careful there.
And I think it's key that, you understand that when you pull that brisket off the pit, you need to let it come down in temperature before you put it in your oven or whatever it is that you're going to, hold it. Because I think what a lot of people do is you hear that, oh, I pulled it off the pit and it went in the cooler. I wrapped it in towels and whatever, and it's been in this cooler for the last however. And at that point, that meat's going to continue to cook. It's sitting at too high of a temperature for too long. It's going to continue to cook. So when you get it off the pit, you call it completed, pull it off the pit, let it cool down. And the things you need to remember is 40 and 140. You want that temperature of that meat to stay above 140 or below 40 because that's where you get stuff growing that you don't want to eat.
Yeah.
So you don't want to eat these bacteria or whatever. So you want to make sure you maintain that temperature above 140 degrees. And if you can't do that, it needs to get chilled down to below 40 degrees, i.e., putting it in the refrigerator or what have you. But I just want to make sure we mention that because that is key. You don't want to leave it out sitting overnight, on the counter. You want it to be in your oven or in your food warmer or whatever it is that you can control that temperature and keep it above 140 if you're doing, like Clarence says, a hot rest. So I think that's key.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, so what you got, Gene? We got more questions? Jean Marie. Where do you start with making your own rub? What is basically the baseline to start with? Daniel Garcia asked that question. And I know you got some input on this one because I know you play around with your rubs, man.
Man, I have in the last month or so, I've started working on one, and let me say right up front, I'm not looking to sell this, commercialize this. It is for use, and I'm at the stage now where it's almost where I want it to be, man. And I actually put it on those beef ribs yesterday that I cooked, and without telling anybody, of course, I served them. And man, they were asking what was that seasoning because it complemented and it just went so well. Uh, and Daniel, great question. For me. It all starts with black pepper and salt, man.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for a baseline, black pepper and salt. I'm one of those. I could put black pepper, salt, some garlic, and some onions on anything, and I would be satisfied with that end product. So as far as I'm concerned, that would be a good baseline to start. You don't want to go crazy with ingredients in a rub. You don't want to go crazy. So with those four, you can play around to see what else might be able to enhance what you're trying to accomplish. As you look at a rub, you start visualizing some sort of flavor profile on a particular piece of meat you might put it on. And as you look at that flavor, as you start to imagine that flavor profile, then you start picking an ingredient here to add, an ingredient there to add, without going overboard. This rub that I'm looking at has got 5 ingredients. And of course, black pepper, salt, onions, garlic, and there's a 5th. That's 5. All right, I'm holding that 5th one close to my chest.
But wait, what if I guess? If I guess what you told me, does it start with an S?
Like I said, so I served it yesterday, and man, these these individuals were just amazed at how perfectly balanced it was, man. And I think this it's going to go great with any piece of meat you want to put it on. It's almost it's going to be a bit of an all-purpose as far as I'm concerned, man. I'm almost where I've got it. I will be running with it at my first comp in September.
Nice.
Absolutely, great question, nice. Daniel.
So, not to jump on, trying to have you divulge what you got going on there, but have you played around with sumac?
I have not. I've heard of it, but I have not.
I'm starting to play around with that a little bit with beef.
Yeah.
Beef ribs and brisket, because I am a purist kind of salt and pepper guy. Yeah. I love that salt and pepper. I just started playing around with the diamond crystal. I don't know if I'm going to replace it on brisket or not. We'll see. But salt and pepper, and then a little bit of sumac. With brisket and beef ribs, just because of the fact of it having the acidic tones to it, to help kind of cut the richness.
Yeah.
So you always, I know it's always been, a fantastic thing when we have like a good rich beef rib and then have, like a zucchini and tomato salad type thing to go with it, because the acidic vinaigrette kind of helps cut the richness of the beef. Well, you know what? If sumac is one of those ingredients that kind of cuts richness, let's try that with the beef rib. Let's try that with the brisket and see how well that works. We're trying to cut the richness while you're actually eating it.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna play with it and see what happens. Yeah. I got a big container of sumac, so I'm gonna start playing with it and see what happens, man.
Yeah, that makes sense. What I've been doing to cut richness, especially even with those beef ribs I served yesterday, man, some chimichurri.
Yeah.
It really does a great job of really biting in, cutting into that richness. You're able to enjoy a bit more than you would normally, because especially with those Wagyu ribs, man, they were so rich.
Oh, yeah.
But they paired perfectly with that chimichurri. Even individuals who had never heard of chimichurri, never eaten it, really enjoyed it yesterday. Guys, gals out there, if you're not in the chimichurri, give it a shot. If you're not,
it's really simple to make.
It's very simple to make. It's simple to make. It can be a little bit labor intensive, in terms of having to chop the parsley and whatnot.
Right.
But it is worth the effort. Yeah, but very simple to make.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do want to say hello. Hello to Jules. I see Jules is in the chat. Hadn't seen Jules in a while. So hey Julie, how you doing? Laura Cypress
Lady
Blue is
Cypress.
in the house, and I want to say hello to Cypress Blue as well as our man Darnell. What's going on, Darnell? I just
D.
saw you guys pop in, and I just had to say hello to y'all because y'all are like the, you start talking about grassroots people, they ride with you. Those are
Ride or
riders.
die.
And I did see Steven in the house. Cooking with Steven.
Stephen Jackson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Steven is
Yeah.
another one that anytime somebody has a chat, 9 times out of 10, Steven is there. So
Yeah.
appreciate you guys very much for coming to hang out with us and doing what y'all do. So Tampa says, do you prefer going live versus recording? What say you, CJ?
In I have never done a pre-recorded, so yes. So I don't have an opinion. I've never done a pre-recorded. All I've done are lives. Uh, so with a pre-recorded, you would then be interacting in the same manner with the audience.
Well, I'm assuming what they mean by pre-recording is just doing your regular videos the way you do them. You record your videos, you edit your videos, you release your video versus just doing a live. So like for me, even if whether we're doing live like this or if I'm doing a live cook, that's a live session versus recording everything, then having to go back and edit it and put
Okay,
it together.
all right, I get it now.
That's the way I'm taking it.
Yeah,
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's just the way I'm
yeah.
kind of taking it.
Man, the live cook, it is something Mom and I have thought of in the past, but every time we go outside and see how we would go about putting it into motion, it becomes a bit of a headache. It's lots of moving pieces compared to a pre-recorded video. It's
But you
lots of
do it
moving
so
pieces.
well, though.
Yeah, man, I don't know about all that. So Tampa, if we can ever get some people with some camera knowledge, because I think it is going to require multiple cooks. I mean, multiple cameras. If you want to do it well, as opposed to having to move one camera from the stationary primary chat, move that camera to the pit and back and forth. So I think it's going to require multiple cameras if you want to do it well. And at some point, we're going to get there. But a live cook at this point, we have not done. But yeah, it's something we're interested in.
Well, I know for us, we were actually just talking about this yesterday because, again, we do live stream cooks for Grills, just as I know you do live stream cooks for Traeger.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get to that in a little bit and have you kind of plug yourself on that one, for a future coming up here. But what we do, we do live stream cooks for Traeger. Traeger for Grills, and I have either Gene or my man Federico will be actually manning the camera and doing that whole thing for me. But as you mentioned, if we're wanting to do it like for my channel, so to speak, you know what? You're going to use different cameras, multiple cameras. We do have the equipment here. I haven't set it up yet, but we do have the switchers and everything so that, I can control everything from one central location, or I can have Gene, be the producer, so to speak, and be able to switch the camera angles as I move from prep station to I'm talking to you, or general B-roll, or live on the grill. We're going to be able to switch around and do these different things so that we can start to do some live cooks. I do find myself, honestly speaking, I do find that when we do a live cook, it's more fun.
Oh yeah.
When you're interacting with people, you have somebody that's moderating your chat and giving you questions while you're doing whatever action it is that you're doing. And the beautiful part about it all is when you're finished, you're finished. You don't have to go back and go edit. And,
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
you just pretty much did your whole cooking thing right then and there and interact with your people, and now you bounce and you're done. So
yeah.
I kind of like that. That's just me.
Now, it's definitely something we're interested in. The only thing we've done live, we've done a couple of preps. Live, I prepped the brisket. I prepped a small piglet
Hmm.
live, and I absolutely enjoyed those. And we have multiple cameras. Mama did the switching when we moved cameras, so we didn't have to move the cameras in terms of from one location to another.
Right.
Mama did the switching when we wanted a different shot. But as we get more and more into this YouTube venture, man, all that's going to come online. We're going to get better at it.
There's a lot involved with it. I'm not sure the average Joe out there that don't make videos but watch videos. I don't know if they really understand just how much work goes into producing YouTube videos, man. You know, let alone even getting into live cooks where you're on a time crunch, kind of
Yeah,
like you have with your Traeger grills, and I have with Grilla grills. I mean, it's a lot of prep work that you have to do to have stuff ready to go so that you keep it moving. And for us, it's we do anywhere between 20 minutes and I think the longest we've gone is an hour. But you're really having to prep stuff, especially if
oh
you're
yeah,
wanting to do stuff that's like ribs or brisket or something that's a long cook. Obviously, you can't cook that in 30 minutes,
yeah, yeah.
but you have to do a lot of prep and everything so that basically you're showing how you did whatever, and then you're having to bring it all to completion within that time crunch.
You just got to have that nice orderly flow, man. Everything is condensed.
Yep.
You got to have that start point, but you got to keep them. You got to keep them locked in with your steps throughout that process. Everything is just condensed,
Yep.
and it's not something you're just going to get out there and do. You've got to sit down and
You got to
almost, yeah,
plan it.
yeah, storyboard this. All right.
Yes.
Before and I'm here to tell you, before one of our Traeger lives, I go out there and I run through this myself, man. And I'm taking notes because I don't think any one of us want to make any major mistakes on
Yep.
a live. It happens.
It
Uh,
happens.
yeah, it happens. We're human, but we want to keep those to a minimum, man. We want to keep any major errors to a minimum. Small errors here and there aren't a problem, but so you got to prepare yourself in advance. You're not just
Yeah.
going to go out there and do this. So same thing. Even if I was cooking here at the house for a live uh, for us for our channel, I would put in the preparation to make sure we got it right. Yeah, we don't want you
Absolutely.
wasting your time.
Absolutely. I'm going to put this up on the screen, Gene, just because I saw this and I want to make sure we get to this one. But I want to complete this whole thought process on this whole cooking live thing first. But Darnell, we're gonna get you in here in a minute. So another friend of ours, mutual friend of ours, I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
watching her on doing the whole Traeger live the other day, and she mentioned our brother CJ is going to be coming up again here soon, doing another live cook. So why don't you go ahead and fill people in on that, man, and what it is exactly do you do for these Traeger cooking sessions and all of that?
So man, we know Traeger is one of the or is the largest pellet grill producers out there. They've been around probably longer than anybody else. So they're really entrenched in that arena. Uh, with COVID, they've always done the Traeger lives. With COVID, they've also started what is called a Traeger private table, where they run these on Tuesdays, and they only go for about 15 to 18 people. And I will do a class, a private class online, like a Zoom class online for Traeger. And then every now and again, they will do the big Traeger Kitchen Live, where they will actually send in a professional videographer, comes in and sets up all the cameras, and it's a huge production. I'm talking, the only thing that I don't have here is a makeup person, but and of course I don't need makeup. You see this, right? I don't need makeup. So there's no makeup person, but they send in an actual professional videographer, and they come in, they set up, they got the angles, they've got the cameras, and they're coordinating with with producers, with a production crew elsewhere. And it's almost like being on a movie set, man. And very often they will give me an area that I can cook in, and I just have to choose what I want to cook. Hey, this is the theme for this month, CJ. Give us your ideas, and then I will try to fill in those pieces. I don't want to give away the menu, but our next Traeger Kitchen Live, folks, is coming up September 2nd. And this is going to be more of a tailgate theme.
Nice.
It is, yeah, it's going to be, because football season,
Absolutely.
September 2nd, this is going to be more of a tailgate theme. Yeah, the Traeger Kitchen, the Traeger Lives are held on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So
and that's
here
on
in Texas,
September 2nd,
yeah,
6 p.m.
September
Central.
2nd. Yeah.
So, wait.
September 2nd.
One more time.
Yeah.
September 2nd at 6 p.m.
At 6
Central.
p.m.
So everybody, we didn't say it 3 times.
Yeah.
Hopefully y'all are catching that, because I'm telling you, you want to check my man CJ out. I know Danielle does a cooking on there.
Yes.
Am I correct that I think I saw, was it Dennis the Prescott? Does he do that
Dennis
too?
Prescott.
Yeah.
Several, man. You've got, of course, Meat Church.
Yeah.
Pittman, BBQ. I'm just happy to be able to sit down and do something that those guys are doing. So every time Traeger throws me one, I'm all over it, man. It's up my wheel alley. I'm able to show off a little bit, and while trying to impart some knowledge to somebody else. September 2nd, 6 p.m., folks.
Absolutely.
Join us. It's also on Facebook. So they're streaming live to Facebook and YouTube. So multiple ways you can catch it.
That's right. You guys, I'm telling you, make sure you check it out. I know every one of those sessions that I've, kind of checked out and got to see who was cooking, different personalities. The one thing I can say is every one of you guys are very knowledgeable about what you're doing and how you're doing it. It's like literally, it's a YouTube show. We get that, but it's like watching a Food Network type show.
Man, we appreciate that.
It's a real cooking session where they're going through things. But the only thing is, it's your more interaction.
Yes,
you got somebody there is moderating, reading questions, and you're able to do what you're doing while you're doing it, replying to whoever is asking the questions. So I really like it, man. I think it's a great session.
I enjoy them. While you're out there, at the start, that 5-minute mark, man, you start feeling the pressure. You start feeling the pressure. You get through your intro, and the minute you start cooking, it's like peace. I mean, everything levels out.
You're in your element.
No pressure. Yeah, there's no pressure. You're interacting. You're answering questions, and before you know it, man, it's an hour, 10 minutes. You're wrapping things up.
Yeah.
And then after the camera shuts off again, you're like, whew, I need a drink. I need a drink. But like I said, man, the satisfaction that I get from a quality show And like everything else we do, every video we put out there, man, there are always going to be one or two people. You didn't do this. Why did you do that? That was, you know how that is. But man, and again, even those, I go back and I interact with those folks.
Right.
Right in the comment section, I interact with those guys. So don't be afraid. Watch the show. Become involved. Ask questions. Traeger always will do a couple promos where they're giving away. If you can remember one of the answers to one of their questions, lots of good stuff to be had. They give away grills. They give away coolers. They give away some quality stuff, folks. Tune in September 2nd, 6 p.m.
That's right. Make sure you mark those calendars. And I know for me, man, you know, because I'm kind of venturing into doing some of that stuff, like I said, with Grill of Grills, what I really take away from it, you know, aside from the fact that y'all, you know, like I said, you're knowledgeable about what you're doing, you're cooking, you know, whatever. I like the fact that you guys are doing what you're doing while you're able to maintain that focus enough to have that conversation to keep it flowing.
Yes, sir.
You know, for me,
Yes,
I try to do that when I'm doing my Grill of Grills, you know, deal. But in my head, I don't have a, you know, a camera crew and all of that, you know, whatever that comes in and they know what they're, it's us, you know, it's me, Gene and Federico. And we're, you know, trying to get the right angles and the right lighting and the right this and the right that, and trying not to, you know, I'm looking here, but you're filming there, or you're filming there, and I'm over. You know, we're trying to, you know, trying to hit your marks and all of this stuff. And so all of that is going on in your head while you're trying to cook.
Yes,
you
sir. Yes,
know? So watching you guys do what you do and how effortless you make it look, man, it's like, for me, I kind of geek out a little bit because I'm sitting here watching and I'm like, okay, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
Oh, he did that so well. He did that and you didn't even know. And I know that what you did was probably difficult, but you've done it so many times, you know, you just make it look natural, you know?
And I've never caught one of those. So when and where could I watch one of the Gorilla Grills?
Okay. Well, so yesterday we had one. Our next one is going to be on September 12th. September 12th at 2 p.m. It's I believe that's going to be on a Saturday. No, Sunday. I'm sorry. September 12th. It's going to be on a Sunday. And we are, as you just mentioned, we are starting to get into football season. So we're going to do some, you know, hey, fellas are coming over for the football game type menus. So we're going to do some things like that. I haven't put together the menu completely just yet, which I was going to ask you. When you do your sessions, are you coming up with your own menu, or do they kind of give you things they want you to do?
They will give me an area,
Okay.
and then I can, you know, like the theme. One of the themes they gave me was comfort foods.
Gotcha.
And I can go in there and work something. Tailgating. I go in there and pick and do what I want to do. Or they might say this month is beef.
Gotcha.
You know, and again, they're not telling me what I need to cook, but whatever I cook is going to be beef.
Right.
You know, and Traeger's got a lot of recipes. I can take one of their recipes and tweak to my heart's content, or I can create one of my own.
Gotcha.
You know, ultimately they do have the final say. You know, ultimately they do have the final say. But dude, do you do a promo when one of yours is coming up? Because I've never seen.
I knew it was coming. I've
never seen one. That's just
so, okay. So here's the thing. So we haven't really, and I've got to get better at doing that. We haven't really come out and did full out promos for these cooking sessions, but I'm going to make sure that I start getting that done. It is on Facebook. We're not filming on. We're not casting on YouTube. It's on Facebook, and it's on the Grilla Grills Facebook page.
Yeah.
So I will tell you what. If you are subscribed to my channel, start paying attention. Make sure you got the notification bell click. I'm going to start putting these posts in the community tab. And, you know, saying that, hey, we're going to have this cook at whatever the date is, whatever time is, it's going to be on the Grilla Grills Facebook page. I'll also put it on my Facebook page, on the Dawgfatha's Barbecue Facebook page, and I'll try to start getting it put on my Instagram as well. But yeah, we do these sessions. They're typically anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. Just depends on what we're cooking and how well we've gotten things prepped in advance or whatever. We're not trying to make it some long drawn out, thing or whatever, but we have fun, man. We make some good recipes. I can say that I believe Federico and Gene are both in the chat, so they can probably correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think anything that we've made on any of these videos, I don't think we've ever done a video on them. I think this is all stuff we've just done for these live sessions or whatever. And I don't believe I've done, any of those cooks for videos. So I did a variation of it. So the video that let me see, the video that's coming out next week's video, this Tuesday, the video that I'm going to release, I did a variation of it, but instead of it being pork chop, we did swordfish. Because I've been on a seafood kick, been wanting to do a lot of seafood cooking. So we did this seafood dish, whatever. And we did that on the Grill of Grills a couple weeks back. Right. Yesterday, what did we cook yesterday, man? I'm drawing a blank on what we cooked yesterday. Yesterday we did shrimp tacos. That's what it was. So we did a shrimp taco with you might have seen me post pictures where I actually did some corn on the cob, fire roasted corn on the cob. I had this idea. It's like, man, I want to make some corn pico de gallo. And I was just going to use regular corn, frozen corn or whatever. And I was at the grocery store picking up some items, and I saw some fantastic looking corn on the cob, fresh corn on the cob. I was like, oh, let me get some of that and fire roast it. That's just another way. You know what I'm saying? You level up whatever you're doing. So yeah, we made some shrimp tacos and some fire roasted corn salsa and some refried beans. And follow it up with a dose of key stress, and that's what we did for this yesterday. So yeah, so that's just kind of what we do, man, and we have fun with it. But it gets hot back there, man. It gets hot outside.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's hot, and man, this summer is especially bad. I don't know about your neck of the woods. But my neck of the woods, the flies.
Oh man!
I am really concerned about September 2nd because the flies, man, they can make life miserable.
They really can.
They can take you off your game because nobody wants to hear in the comments about the flies on your food because without a doubt somebody will mention. Man, I know there are flies. I'm outside. I can't control them. Yeah. So I've been really trying to come up. Anybody got any ideas how to minimize those flies?
Well, I know something that works, but it's not conducive to having great audio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
No, that's that we on the struggle bus hard with flies too, man. Because I tell you, as soon as you light up the pit around here, oh man, here they come. No, one thing that does help for us though is I do have sunscreens on my pergola. Mm-hmm. So we had sunscreens put in, and it goes all the way around. So I can literally make it like a room.
Yeah.
And the only areas are like on the corners. There's like little gaps like that.
Yeah.
And that helps. But I mean, you still get a fly here and there. Now, if I have one of those, because they roll up.
Yeah.
So if I have one of those actually rolled, oh, dude, forget about it. They all over the place. So.
Yeah. Because you definitely need that airflow, man. You can't.
Oh yeah.
You can't enclose. Yeah. Definitely need that airflow.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be something that we look at.
Oh yeah. So tell you what, let's jump back to the chat here right quick. We're having a great little conversation. We ain't forgetting about you guys. But like I said, my man here's he's a plethora of knowledge. So Darnell says, on average, how long should a video be? And Darnell, I'm going to say like this. So you're going to hear so many different answers on this, and you're going to hear people come from their own personal perspective, and you're going to hear people come from an analytical perspective. And I'm going to tell you this. You make the video as long as you need it to be to tell the story you're telling. Whether that ties into whatever the metrics are for analytics or not, it doesn't matter, because here's the key. if you make a video and the analytics says you want this video to be at least 8 minutes long, 8 to 10 or 8 to 9 minutes long, because of the ad placements and things of that nature. Okay, here's the thing though. If you make a video that's 8 or 9 minutes long on a subject that really you could tell that story in 4 minutes, then you get into the battle of retaining people to view your video for that duration of 8 minutes. So if they aren't there, but you made a video for 8 minutes, but they aren't there to see it, that hurts you and it takes you out of the algorithm. So that's why I say make the video as long as you need it to be to tell the story. So if you do it in 4 minutes, do it in such a way that you retain people to watch that 4 minutes, and you do some of the other things that helps promote your views to get them down that rabbit hole of your channel. It ain't going to matter that you made that video 4 minutes, because YouTube is going to see, the analytics are going to tell the algorithm that people liked your video. They made it to the end of your video. So here, let's serve up another one of Darnell's videos. Okay, this video might be 9 minutes and it's 9 minutes of fun telling a whole complete story, and they watch that. Well, okay, they like that. Well, let's give another one of Darnell's videos, and that video might be 3 minutes long. Didn't hit 8 minutes, but again, it was jam packed and it retained people. That's what you want to do, is tell that story in the amount of time that you need to tell that story and keep them watching. So that's what I would tell you.
Very good point. And Darnell, good question, man. I really think however long it takes you to tell that story, that's how long that video needs to be. And when I say tell that story, I'm not talking about fluffing it up.
Nope.
Give me the meat of that story. Give me what I need. If it takes 10 minutes, boom. If it takes 12, if it takes 15 minutes, and you're giving me the pertinent information for that particular video, that's what I need. If you set out and say, man, I need to have 15 minutes in a video that you can give me the pertinent information in 8, you're going to lose me and others. So don't go setting out on a particular time. Just give the people what they want, and when you're done editing, it is what it is, whether it be 8 minutes or 15 minutes. Some people have longer attention span than others, man. You're just looking for the good stuff.
Yep. And and the thing is that I think every one of us that make videos can look at the videos we've created and can say that, you know what, I probably could have got this video shorter.
Yeah.
But when you're in that creative process and you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, and you go to post edit and you get it all together, you're looking at it in a sense that, you know what, I'm thinking I'm telling my story the way I need to tell my story, and it's taken me 17 minutes to get it done. But I guarantee you're going to have somebody come along and look at that video and say, man, this video could have been a lot shorter. So I say that to say, don't take offense when people tell you things like that, because you'll get that. Oh, dude, you know what? It took you too long to tell this story. It's just something you start learning as you go. One of the big things that I try to do, and sometimes I lose it and I have to kind of get back on track and refocus, is I try to make my videos like I like to watch them. If I don't want to see somebody sit here, I think we were talking about this the other night on your stream, I don't want to see somebody come on and say, oh, today we're going to smoke a brisket. So I'm going to go get this brisket, or I got this brisket from Costco and it was an 18-pound brisket, and it had great marbling and this, that, and the other. And so what we're going to do is we're going to trim this brisket down and get it down to about, 11, 12 pounds, but we're not going to get rid of the trimmings, and then we're going to rub it with salt and pepper and this and that and the other and blah, 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 yada, yada. And we're going to fire up our whatever pit, of the day is, and this and that and the other. And the next thing you know, you've been talking about what you're going to do for 5 freaking minutes, and I ain't seen a brisket yet,
and then they come back and are going to do exactly what they just told you. Now they're gonna show.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
something can be cut out there. I have found since some of our early videos, and once you've got the trimming videos out there, you can pretty much link those videos to subsequent videos. So I have found that I've really cut out some major time with trimmings. Unless it's a meat that I haven't done on video, I can always link the trim. I save lots of time right there. As much as I love, dude, I could trim meats for
Oh, I've
a
seen you.
living, man. I
I've
love
seen you.
trimming meat. Yeah, yeah, I love showing off. But I understand now that I've got the videos out there, I can always link those videos as opposed to wasting time showing them on every video that I do for those meats.
And you
So
know what that
I
is smart because
yeah,
you're actually referring them back to more of your content,
yes, sir.
which is another
Yes,
one
sir.
of your videos. So
Yeah,
now not only are they watching you here, oh, he's got a video on trimming. Now you
yeah,
just got another view because they're going to that video.
exactly, exactly.
Good
So
stuff.
like I said, we are learning, man, and we're growing. And only because we haven't said it in a little bit, folks, go check out Mama and Papa Joe's. I'll give myself a little shout out. Go check out Mama and Papa Joe's when you get a chance, and let me know that you came from the Dawgfathers. Let me know what you think, guys.
Absolutely, guys. As I usually say in all of my different live streams, there's so many great channels, and CJ is absolutely one of them. Funny deal. You guys that don't know how we met, because I think it's a funny story. We were out at Austin Barbecue. Last year they had the Austin Barbecue competition here, and I was rolling around with my buddy Ryan from Backline Smokers, and I saw your Jambo. It's an awesome pit, awesome looking pit. And so anyway, we walked over, and I didn't realize. I guess Ryan had made some racks for you that were in
Yeah, yeah,
your
yeah,
Jambo. And so we're
yeah.
over there talking, this and that and the other. And I'm not really up on the barbecue competition, circuit, and I'm not a comp cook, so I don't really know. But I heard from him and JB and some other guys like, dude, CJ is the man when it comes to competition cooking, this and that and the other, blah blah blah. So, met CJ, we talked, this, that, and the other, and hung out, whatever, that day, and had a great time. Came back, the next day, whatever, with the wives, and,
Yeah, yeah,
just had a good time, whatever.
yeah.
And then I think it was some months later. I don't remember if it was
Once, yeah,
I'd
yeah.
hit you up
Yeah.
or something. You're like,
Actually,
wait a minute, I know I
hit,
seen that dude.
yeah, folks. I'm telling you, he often came to my camp in Austin, and pretty much just sandbagged me. He's asking questions, he's giving us compliments on the pit, and I was like, oh man, dude is cool. He's all right. Then COVID kind of kicked in and shut the barbecue thing down. And it wasn't until later that summer, last summer, that wife and I talked about the YouTube, and we were getting ready to dig into creating a YouTube channel. So I started YouTubing and looking at videos to see what people were doing, and I stumbled on Dawgfatha's channel, and I watched 2, 3, 4 videos, and after about the 4th video, I said, dude, I know this dude from somewhere. I said, I've met this dude. And man, went back, played through my mind, and I said, that's dude from Austin that came to my camp. Sandbagging. I don't know how to cook. I said, this dude is a YouTube beast. I said, I was in the presence of YouTube royalty in Austin and didn't know it, man. So I reached out to him and hit him up, and we've been pretty tight since then, man.
Oh man,
Yeah.
a lot of people when they meet me, they don't know I have a YouTube channel. I mean,
Yeah.
So, I'm just a dude to cook just like the next person, man. It's only like I usually tell people is the only difference between what I got going on and what you got going on is I probably have ruined a lot more briskets and ribs than you have.
Yeah.
That's really pretty much it. You know, just like you've probably ruined a lot
Yeah.
more than the average Joe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
Oh,
doesn't mean
absolutely.
we're some authority or whatever. It's just we
Yeah.
might have a little bit more experience than you do, and
Yeah.
we put it out there for people to see. You know, that's all it is.
Folks, if you haven't burned up or toughened up a brisket, then you haven't learned how to cook a brisket yet.
Absolutely.
You're gonna destroy a couple before you get to the point where you're like, all right, I can do this on a regular basis. And don't be
Absolutely.
afraid, man. Don't be afraid to try new stuff. Do not be afraid. Just do it. I appreciate that, Big Cat.
Oh, Big Cat Mike. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, man. Hey, like I said, if you guys have not subbed to my man CJ and Alicia over at Mama and Papa Joe's, make sure you do that. Because again, when we talk about him and his love for trimming meats, and there's certain people you see when they start doing their trimmings or whatever, they on a whole other level. That's this guy right here. I'm not there. I will, do a basic trim job, whatever. I would never ever try to give Clarence advice about how to do a trimming. But you know what? I'll do whatever basic trimming that I do for the backyard for me or whatever. But then I go and see stuff that you do, and it's like artwork. It really is. It really is. I'm in awe of watching you do. I'm that guy that will literally sit there and watch you trim a brisket for 30 minutes.
Man, I appreciate it.
You
I
know?
really enjoy trimming meats, man. I need to find a job doing that. I don't know if anybody's hiring. I think in my next life I will come back as a butcher.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
I could really get into that. Yeah, I could
So
really get into
here
that.
what this is what we're gonna do. Gene, again, if you have another question that you want to get put up here for us, go for it. And at the same time, I'm gonna pose a question to CJ as well as the chat for you guys out there that are interacting with us about making videos and this and the other. And the question is this: what is your process to figure out what you're going to do for your next video? What is your process? Okay. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I just film what I'm going to cook for dinner, or, whatever it might be. But what is your process for figuring out your next video and then making it come to fruition? What do you do? What's your process, CJ?
Wow, dude, I will tell you, uh, I enjoy cooking. I enjoy cooking videos. I enjoy cooking shows. I watch a lot of cooking shows. I watch a lot of Burgers, Brew and Q,
Oh yeah.
Diners, Driving and Dives. I love those shows, and I'm one of those individuals. I tell the wife says I'm obsessed with barbecue. I said, but it's a healthy obsession. Anything I see on a show, anything I see on TV, I immediately try to relate that to barbecue. I immediately try to relate that to barbecue. And most of the times, what mom and I are going to cook for a regular dinner, can be a little boring. We don't go overboard. If we want something fancy, something kicked up, we might go to a restaurant. So for the most part, our dinners are fairly simple. They're quick. We don't get too caught up. But man, I will see something on one of these shows and immediately start thinking, all right, how can I tweak that for the backyard? How can I tweak that to put it into an interesting video that people are going to want to see? And I love the idea of cooking different meats, not just the pork ribs, not just the brisket, not just the chicken. Man, can I find those the whole oxtails? Can I find the lamb breasts? Can I those? I want to cook some different things that people shouldn't be afraid of. Man, oxtails are coming up again. I did an oxtail way back when. I want to do some whole oxtails. I haven't done it whole oxtails, but yeah, I get a lot of ideas from watching shows, man. I've asked some of our subscribers, hey, what would you like to see next? And I rarely get any feedback about what we'd like to see. Last time I think Trumpet told me, hey, I'd like to see you cook something from your Belizean culture. And I was like, oh, hey, that's not a bad idea. And I threw out the conch fritters.
Mm-hmm.
The conch fritters, something that my mom used to cook for me growing up, man. And dude, eating those things, it brought back some memories.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the taste of them just really took me back. And for a little bit, I was a little boy again, eating those conch fritters. So yeah, that's my process for coming up with videos, man.
Okay. Austin, thank you very much for that. Making that meatloaf, stuffed with cream cheese and you name it. It's an awesome meatloaf. Um, it's one of my favorite things to do, making a stuffed meatloaf on the pit. So I'm glad that worked out for you, and I'm glad your sister-in-law loved that. And that's awesome, man. That is absolutely awesome. Trumpet Master says that his process is he walks into HEB meat section and grabs whatever catches his attention. You know, and you mentioned, yeah, you like watching. You get inspiration from watching, different whatevers. Before I continue, James Tyson, what's going on, my brother? I've been rocking with James Tyson since fifth grade, man. We've been
Wow.
boys for a long time. Long time. And as we were speaking about earlier, when we have these get-togethers and have these, barbecues or whatever, it ain't a party unless James Tyson is here, man. So James, appreciate you for dropping in here and hanging out with us, and hopefully we'll get something put together real soon so we can all get together and act a fool. You know how we do. So no, for me, if I'm looking at the process of what it is I'm trying to do for my next video, and this is I think might be some decent information for anybody out there that's wanting to create a channel and start doing videos, and you're looking at trying to do growth. So this is what I did when I was trying to grow the channel. Okay. At first, before I started learning a lot more about how you put videos on YouTube, I did it the same way, man. It was whatever I saw, whatever I was gonna cook, I just film it, put it on YouTube, and nobody saw it. You know what I mean? Nobody saw it. So it's like, okay, what am I doing wrong? I'm not doing something right. I can look at some other videos and I can say, well, you know what? I feel like my quality is on par or something. Why is nobody, see? So then, as I started to learn about different things, what I started doing when it came time that again, my goal was to grow the channel, not necessarily just make videos. I wanted to grow the channel. And so what I started doing was started using different tools. To what is it people are looking for? What are people searching for? Okay, and you gave a great example there, Clarence. If I want to make oxtails, because I like making oxtails, if I want to make my, Guinness praise oxtails and this and we know it's a fantastic dish, is anybody looking for it? Mm-hmm. So I go in, I punch in my tool, and you know what? Is anybody looking for oxtails right now? No, they're not looking for oxtails. Well, I can't expect much if I make that video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I started looking at some of these tools that would tell me this is what people are looking for. Okay, cool. Now that I know what people are looking for, how do I get it on YouTube so that I at least get a fighting chance to get somebody to see it? Because again, now you have to get to where you rank on the platform well enough that you can get some sort of following to see your videos. Because you can look at Google, and Google, the tools in Google are telling you that there's 500,000 searches for this a month, so there's something there. But then you can go pop in YouTube tools and look at it, and it can tell you you're not going to rank for that. You can look on here. Google tells you that 500,000 views for smoked brisket is excellent. You can go put in smoked brisket in this tool, you're not going to rank. So how do you make a smoked brisket video for people to see it? So I use some of these different tools and I go and tweak things, and that's how I figure out, what's the next video I'm going to make. I'll know before I even go to the grocery store. I'm not going to go to the grocery store and just blindly go, oh, well, that looks good, so I'm going to make it. I want to make something, but I want to make something that at least has a fighting chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
If I make a hamburger or a ribeye roast or whatever it might be, and I only get 200 views, nobody's seeing it. So I'm not doing something right. There's something else I got to do to try and help myself. And so that's what I did, was use these different tools and figure out what people wanted to see, and then tweak the titles and stuff and tags and whatnot when I put it on, so that I at least had a fighting chance to get some views. And then once I started doing that, that's when everything started to take off. And the next thing I know, we started getting the subs and everything just really started rolling. And then it got to the point where I said, okay, if, and I told Gene this early in the game, if we're so lucky that we get to 100,000 subs, once we get there, then I want to back off and start doing what I want to do. You know,
Yeah,
instead of, I want to,
yeah,
the old Dave Ramsey thing, you do what you got to
yeah,
do so you
yeah,
can do what you want to do. So it's like, I want to do some other things. I want to take my time and do this in it. So once we get to 100, if we get to 100,000 views, this is what we're going to do. And that's what I've done. So now it's kind of backed off. I'm kind of doing what I want to do as I, want to do, because I felt like I grew, and we're continuing to grow. Thank you very much to you guys that really do ride with me. I really do appreciate it. But my focus was, okay, we've grown the channel now. So now let's put out some stuff that we want to do, and let's do some stuff that people want to see me do. And not have to look at just, okay, what is the reaction? Am I going to get 30,000 views from this? No, maybe I only get 2,000 views, but this is what I want to do right now. And
yeah,
this is what
yeah.
people are wanting to see from me right now. So let's do that. I've been doing what the channel tells me to do for so long. So now let's try and see if we can switch it up from doing just Weber kettle and pellet smoke cooks to doing some offset cooks. Let's go play with some live fire. Let's go do some other things. So that's kind of what I do in the process.
Nah, that makes sense, man. Yeah, that makes sense. I understand. I can appreciate, and I love the phrase. Do what I got to do so I can do what I want to do.
Absolutely.
That's an adage one can live by.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Rick, my brother Rick, how you doing, brother?
What's up, Rick?
Rick Galindo, man. If you guys don't know about Rick makes some fantastic rubs. That Trinity rub, as well as his beef hog. Man, that stuff is some good stuff. Now, let me say this, Rick. What I'm saying when I say I'm using the tools, it has nothing to do with jumping on any bandwagon. You notice I ain't doing no, tallow injected brisket, whatever. The only reason I even made a tallow or how to make a tallow video is because I kept getting hit up with people asking me, how do you make tallow? How do you make tallow? How do you make tallow? And I kept fighting it for the longest time. I didn't want to make a tallow video because everybody and their brother is making tallow videos. So I didn't do it until I got to the point where I could do it, because that's just what I wanted to do. So let me be clear when I'm saying, when I'm looking at the different tools or whatever, and what is telling me is good, I'm saying what is telling me it's good for my channel. If you're a small channel and the trend out there right now is beef or tallow injected brisket, or tallow wrapped brisket for 30 hours, whatever it might be, 9 times out of 10, a smaller channel is not going to rank for that topic because they don't have a strong enough foothold in the platform. So yeah, you can go make that video. Ain't nobody going to see it because it's not going to get found. Think about this for a second. Whenever you go on YouTube and you go to look for a video of whatever topic, you name whatever topic is you want, how far down the list do you actually go? You know what I mean? You get that front page up there, and you might see the first 5, 6, 7, 8, videos or whatever. You probably click in one of those. If you don't get the information that you wanted from that video, you'll probably go back up and pick one of the videos that's up there to the top. And then by the time you look at 1 or 2 of those videos, maybe 3 of those videos, you got the information you want. You moved on to something else. Everybody else at the bottom of that list didn't even get a shot to get your attention to see their video, right? It's no different when we make videos. So your thing is you need to try and get your video up there at the top. Again, if that is your focus to grow and to get the views and to get the subscribers, you're trying to get your video up there at the top of that search. So the best thing you can do is utilize some of these search tools that helps you know where your specific channel will rank for whatever the topic is that you want to make a video on. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you go jump on a bandwagon, because you know what? Somebody that makes a beef tallow video that ranks at the top of the platform and gets hundreds of thousands of views on it or whatever, good for them. That's not working on my channel. So I have to play to the strengths of what my channel is to grow. Here's the thing, funny thing right here. Yeah, I got a video that, did well. I got a brisket video that did well. It's got 2.3 million views or whatever on it now. Here's the funny thing about that. I can go use my tools right now and I can put smoked brisket in. I don't even rank. Just funny, because when you actually go and look at it, once you do the search, you'll see my videos right up there with Malcolm Reed's, right up there with Matt Pittman's. You go and do a Google search on it and you'll see my video pop up in the video carousel for both smoked chicken as well as, whole smoked chicken and smoked brisket. But if I put that in the search tools here, it tells me, nope, you don't rank. That's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
So basically I'm saying that if you're playing to the strengths of what the deal is telling you is for your channel, you have a better chance of getting people to see that. So sometimes you might be zagging when everybody else is zigging. Everybody else is zigging over here to go play with beef tallow and this and that and the other. You might be zagging over here because you're going to go do what works for your channel. And maybe that has something to do with oxtails or, something else. If it ranks, people see it, you start to grow. The more you start to grow, the more you can get back into some of these topics like smoked brisket or whatever it might be, because you get a stronger foothold on the platform. So
yes,
that's how it's worked for me.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's a process. And that's why, I always tell people when they come to me for advice talking about it, I'm like, you got to understand what your channel is. Are you an entertainment channel? Are you an educational channel? Identify yourself and understand what it is you are. And then identify what it is you want to do. Do you want to grow the channel, or you just want to have fun and make videos? If you just want to have fun and make videos, do what you're doing with it. But if your focus is you want to do this, you got to get out of your own way. And that's the hardest part as a content creator, because you want to be that person that has your creativity and do the things that you want to do, whether it's conducive to you growing your channel or not. And that's where you have to kind of, take a look at yourself and figure out what is. Because, dude, one of the things, Clarence, when I first started, and most of these guys have been riding with me for a long while, and they know, I created this intro, for my videos, and everybody loved it. And it's really nice intro. I believe I actually put it in this last video with the chicken thighs, as a matter of fact. That was the video. Kent is in here. Daddy Dutch loves that intro. Dude, I love that intro, but the analytics told me it sucked. The analytics said, nope, they don't want to see this intro because your retention drops when this intro starts. And I was like, damn, but that intro is tight. And I started thinking about it. Well, what happens with me when I watch a video? When I see a video that has the intro, do I actually watch the intro every time, or do I kind of skip through? Especially when you have somebody with an intro that's 15, 20 seconds long.
Yeah.
Do you actually watch it every time, or do you skip? No, I actually skip. Okay, then that makes sense. Maybe I need to switch up. So that's why I switched up and started coming with this intro that's like seconds long. So those are the types of things.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
There's so many more details, man, as you dig into what's going to create a successful channel, and I am going to pick them up as we move.
Oh yeah,
they're going to come, but there are a lot of intricacies that you need to know to really grow that channel. Like I
Absolutely.
said, I want that growth, man, where people are going to watch. I just don't want numbers. Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. And you know what? We all struggle, with it. I'm 115,000 subs on this channel now. Okay, and you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whoop de doo. What's your next video gonna be?
Yeah.
You still have to come up with some good content. You still got to give people what they want to see. Just as it took me however long to get to this. You can lose it tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I say that to say that when people say to me, "Oh, you're a big channel," it doesn't resonate with me. You see people like T Roy that's got 300,000 or AB that's got over 1 million, whatever, and they're big channels. And I'm not saying 100,000 subs is small, but I don't have that mentality. I think is what it is. It's a number, but what
Yeah.
does it?
Yeah.
It doesn't really. Does it mean I did anything?
Yeah.
As long as I'm able to continue to make good product, put it out there, people like it. They talk to me and they, hey, dude, I made, like my man Austin said here a little while ago, he made the meatloaf, that did a video on it, and his sister in law loved. That's the type of stuff that I love to hear, and that's what helps me to keep moving. Okay, well, what's the next thing
Yeah.
I can do to help somebody?
Yeah. But
So
but listening to you, man, for me, it's going to be my ability to find a good balance between what I enjoy doing and what I have to do.
yep,
Because it's important to me that I enjoy every single video that I'm making. You know, growth is important. So once again, I'm gonna have to find that happy medium and to continue this growth.
yep,
But I definitely want to enjoy making the videos. Mom and I have a lot of fun. Even those videos right
and it
now
shows.
that aren't getting a whole, a ton of viewership, we enjoy making them. Uh,
Absolutely.
we enjoy them. We had one of our early ones. We did oysters. Mom and I sat on the deck and ate them. Man, that had to be one of the most fun videos Mom and I made. And we might have 400 views. And I go back and I watch that video all the time. I guess maybe 250 of those views are mine.
Man, sometimes it just doesn't make sense because you make
Yeah,
something and you think it was good
yeah.
and nobody watched it,
Yeah, yeah, but that is one that we, husband and wife, we thoroughly enjoy.
Right?
We had a great time making that video.
How can you tell somebody that's wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
I tell you
exactly.
what, like I said, I love making seafood, man, and I don't know. I'm gonna give it another crack,
Yeah,
but
oh yeah. Not
seafood
quitting.
just doesn't do well on my
Yeah,
channel.
yeah, not
You
quitting.
know? Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I do want to do the mussels. We do the grilled mussels.
Yeah,
Whether I do it with a white wine sauce or a Guinness cream sauce or whatever, I'm gonna do that video. I'm probably gonna do that video in the next couple of weeks, just because I enjoy. Man, I'm
yeah,
really digging mussels.
yeah.
I
Dude,
don't
that
even.
sounds delicious.
Oh man,
Yeah,
it's some good stuff, man. It's some really good stuff. So I may have to go ahead and put that one out there, but hey, man, we've been on here kicking it for a couple of hours, man, and I do have some ribs on. My man Trumpet Master said earlier, man, you better go check those ribs. But I'm cooking them low enough that I'm not really too concerned with them. It is what it is. If they
oh,
come off the bone, they come off the bone.
yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
It ain't gonna be the first time.
Freddie Fox. He says if you have a pet in the kitchen,
Yeah,
man, I've got my boy Trooper, and he stands behind me in my kitchen. When I'm doing work, he's not climbing or doing anything. I can see his head, and I don't know if that's gonna go anywhere. That's my dog right there. Anything falls on the floor is his. Anything.
dude, I know like Michael Simon. He's got his dog Norman,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Norman hangs out behind him, and wanders around and for me, I just like I can't do it, man. I'll mess around and trip over a dog or a cat. Nah. You know, not only for me, it's I gotta just keep him out of the kitchen just cause. My mom didn't play when it came to animals, man. So it's like ingrained in me. Like, you gotta get out of here. You gotta get out of here. Go over there. Go over there, And it's funny because my dogs will actually sit outside the kitchen and sit there and just watch.
Yeah.
They won't come in the kitchen, but they'll just sit there and watch. So
we definitely don't feed him from the table or on video. He doesn't do people food. Yeah,
dude, I hear that. So guys, again, Clarence, let's go ahead and plug yourself again. You on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram? Where you at, man? Where can they find you?
We're Instagram. Man, I need to really, really get more involved in social media. But we do IG, Mom and Papa Joe's Barbecue. Go check us out. Facebook, Mom and Papa Joe's on Facebook. MAMAPAPA. And YouTube. Go check us out, man. We really, really appreciate those of you who subbed today. Thank you, Alton, and Jeannie for this invite. It was an absolute pleasure. Hey, guys, we will see you. We also do a live stream every Thursday at 6 p.m. Correction, at 8 p.m. At 8 p.m. Tune in. Some good conversation.
Absolutely.
Some great conversation. Some good back and forth, man. We appreciate you guys.
It's a lot of great knowledge, man. Yeah. I mean, I know you have a lot of your competition buddies on there. And again, like I said, I'm not a competition cook, but man, listening to these guys talk about what they're talking about and the things that they, do is some things that you take and you're like, man, I'm gonna try that in my next cook, So there's some great knowledge there that's being had. So make sure you jump onto those live streams Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Central. And again, check him out on Traeger Kitchen Live, TKL, September 2nd. 6 p.m. Central on the Traeger Grills YouTube page.
Yes.
And the Traeger Grills Facebook page, I believe it is.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you guys go check it out. Yeah, make sure you go check it out because, again, there's some great cooking things that's going on these different videos. And, hey, you guys know Clarence now, so you got a great reason to go check him out.
Don't be strangers, folks.
Absolutely. Now, as for me, hey, guys, you know where to find me right here on the Dawgfatha's Barbecue YouTube channel, as well as, again, our next live cooking session will be on the Grilla Grills Facebook page, guys. Grilla Grills Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook, make sure you go like that page and make sure you have the notifications on for it. I'm going to try and do a better job between myself and Gene of getting some information out there for when we're doing our cooks. Our next cook is going to be September 12th, 2 o'clock p.m. And it's going to be kind of a game day type thing.
Okay,
so I'll
sweet.
put it that way. So we're going to have some appetizers and some things and just we're going to have a great time. So again, Gorilla Grill's Facebook page. Come watch the Dawgfatha cook live September 12th, 2 o'clock p.m. And again, catch Clarence September 2nd at 6 o'clock p.m. Both Central Time, guys. So, Clarence, I appreciate you for coming to hang out with me today, and always enjoy talking to you, my brother. I know we got a lot more talking to do.
Dude,
we gotta get together and do a cook.
At some point, we gonna get together and cook, man.
Yeah, that'll be a fun live.
I think the people would love that.
That would be a fun live, man, to come hang out, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. We'll make that happen.
I think we need to do that where we get all the fellas together.
Dude, that would be awesome, man.
It really would. It really would.
We're all close enough.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, again, make sure you have you're subscribed to our channels, turn on those notification bells. And again, we appreciate you for coming to hang out with us on this fine, fantastic Sunday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will see you in the next video.
Be safe. Stay safe.
Peace.